Today is finally the day. I'm finally gonna play it. After years, 2 years, of putting it off. I played Garten of Banban. Okay, so this is one of my most favorite games of all time, personally. I've always loved Garten of Banban. It's always touched me right where it counts. You know, with the recent release of Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 and it being, oh my god, the VSync, I love it, it's beautiful. With the recent backlash it's received, despite its 80% on Steam, I thought it'd be great to play Garten of Banban. Because I'm not spending $25.99, believe it or not, on DLC. I'm sorry. Did you know that in Canadian dollars, to buy all of Poppy Playtime so far costs $82 before tax? I just thought that I'd mention how crazy that is. That's like and they're pushing it for more chapters. So think about it. When more chapters come out of this game, this will be an over $100 game. When Chapter 2 comes out, that's $25 more. Chapter 6, sorry. So when that comes out, that'll probably also be 25, if not more, which will make the game officially $100. Now, what I find kind of funny too is Chapter 2 and 3 are in a bundle together, and you get to save like $10. Yes, hello, I'll be a leopard. I have a plushie of her, actually. See, I told you, Garten Banban is my favorite franchise. I have merchandise of Garten Banban. That's how much I love it. Really, really, it's my favorite franchise of all time. You know, it's so creative. You know, I almost should have played the VR version, honestly, for today's video. I have a VR headset, and I have played the VR version one afternoon. Honestly, I can't even lie. The first VR game with movement that hasn't given me motion sickness. Which feels criminal to say, but it's true, and I can't believe it's something I have admitted here today. But yeah, Garten of Banban on in VR is actually kind of solid? Question mark? That should be all the eggs, right? I hope. You ever just like take a minute to look at this animation in here and just see like how jank that is? That's ridiculous. Now, Garten of Banban. See, as it's my favorite game of all time, greatest indie horror hit of the century, if you ask me. Their games aren't as expensive. I think the most expensive one for Chapter 8 or Garten Banban 8, they don't do chapters, they do whole games. See, that's how epic they are. I say as Poppy Playtime releases all their chapters as separate games on console, which is kind of funny. Anywho, Garten of Banban, see, they're whole experiences meant for you to experience. See, the thing with Poppy Playtime is it's still technically, if we're talking about people now, okay, this whole video is gonna be a meta commentary on Poppy Playtime. I'm sorry, but the game, it's one game. I want people to remember that. People say like, oh well, and mind you, I'm not a FNAF fan, but there being 13 games and Markiplier's other people still supporting it, but not supporting Poppy Playtime having 5 games is because technically speaking, Poppy Playtime doesn't have 5 games. Poppy Playtime has one game that isn't finished yet. The one game that has 5 chapters that cost $80 to get. And more. When Chapter 5 was recently revealed by the original director to be the final chapter. I'm sorry, but like, you can't compare a franchise like FNAF, who has a crap ton of games, sure, to Poppy Playtime having 5 games and saying it's not fair to not, because FNAF has like 13 games over the course of like 12 years. I skipped over green. Of course I skipped over green. Poppy Playtime has 5 chapters over the course of 5 years. That's not the same thing at all. Those are two completely different concepts. Bendy and the Ink Machine, bad game. Love the series, though. Dark Revival was really solid. I just thought I'd mention that. All their chapters released in a span of like 2.5 years, I think. Approx, might be 3 years. Now, again, they weren't really quality. Poppy Playtime has a lot more in it. What I'm getting at is not the length of time it's taking them to make it. It's the quality. The amount of money they're charging and the fact that they're pushing it out for more when their quality keeps degrading is, I think, what I'm trying to get at here. And I don't know why I'm saying I think is what I'm trying to get at. I don't even know what I'm trying to get at anymore. This has gone on for so long. But sorry. I just had to concentrate. My point doesn't stand for Ban, of course. Ban, as much as they do release them as separate games, doesn't count as separate games either in my eyes. As much as they can try to advertise it that way, I don't see it that way, personally. Because it's still the same story, the same, you're underground trying to find your child, whatever. Poppy Playtime doesn't have that same excuse as FNAF, and Ban's part of the same issue, except they're trying to get away with it. I'm curious if at the end of all of this, they're going to release a like the game altogether, like Bendy and Ink Machine did. They released a full game in one giant package, I think for like $25. I wonder if Poppy Playtime is gonna do something similar, but charge like $120. You know, like, we don't know how much longer this game's gonna go on for. I mean, they're resurrecting characters left and right like it's starting a Ban, you know? So, at the end of the day, I think the point I'm trying to make here today, in this video, is Garten Banban is supreme, and Poppy Playtime knows that, and they've just been copying Poppy Playtime's Poppy Playtime has been copying Garten Banban's flow, because Garten Banban is just kind of the superior product. I mean, we can all just admit that to ourselves today, I think. And hey, it's our good friend. Hi. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Point of today's video was to just talk about the current state of Mascot Horror as a whole, and the fact that people are defending things that shouldn't be defended and people attacking things that shouldn't be attacked. Does that make sense, right? Like, if you watch the video over again, people are crapping on Poppy Playtime for dragging it out for multiple more chapters. Even though the end was supposed to be 5, they are dragging it out for more money. Poppy Playtime isn't a bunch of its own game. Despite how they release it on console, Poppy Playtime is the same game that they're selling for $80 a pop, and that they've been dragging out for 5 years. They're going to drag it for another 5 years more. And people keep trying to say that Five Nights at Freddy's is doing the same thing. That's not the same thing. Five Nights at Freddy's are each their own games. FNAF 1 and Security Breach are not the same game. They're the same story, but they're genuine sequels to each other. Them being sold as separate products at the prices they're sold at, like Security Breach is like $50. Sure, I'm not a Security Breach fan. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying that makes more sense than Mob Entertainment selling Poppy Playtime $25 a pop for a chapter, making up $80, which is more than the average video game, here in Canada at least, where the average video game is $79.99, and they're dragging it out for more chapters to make the game even more expensive. just to finish one game. This is just DLC to a story that they started 5 years ago, by the way. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in my next endeavor, whatever that may be.